Mr. Schimmer, we're going to continue this conversation about the opioid epidemic. You've traveled New York. You've promised billions in new funding to address the opioid overdose epidemic and now the fentanyl epidemic as well. How are you going to make that happen?
It's happened. And, you know, this is the difference between my opponent and me. He was a pundit. We're hearing a lot of punditry, a lot of pointing fingers, a lot of verbiage, but no real solutions. Not only have I proposed real solutions, I've passed them. So on the issue that you've asked about, in the AFB bill, the bill that passed a year ago, January, we had $5 billion to go after the opioid crisis, more than we ever have before. In the gun bill that we passed, we got $14 billion for mental health problems that are often related to the opioid crisis. You know, we desperately need this money. I was in Buffalo. A man came over to me and started crying. His son had gotten back from Iraq, had PTSD, and then became addicted to opioids. The kid was finally willing to go for treatment. He went to all the centers in Western New York, 23-week wait. The young man killed himself in the 22nd week. So now we are finally getting the money for the opioid centers we need and for the mental health provisions we need. I produce results.
Thank you.
I am productive. I'm not spewing verbiage and calling names.
Mr. Pinion, same question. How will you deal with the opioid epidemic?
There it is. Exceptional politician. Failed senator. He talks about the dead child. Again, always using dead children for sympathy and for votes. You've been there for 42 years. If you wanted to make sure you had equity, equity is what happens when we actually have a Betty Ford clinic in Harlem. Equity is what means when people in Chautauqua County don't have to wait that long. And they've been waiting that long for a very long time, before that poor man came to talk to you, sir. So at the end of the day, I'm not here just spewing nonsense. We have talked about concrete solutions, how to secure our border. We have talked about issues on how we actually get things done. You want health care? Let's talk about federally qualified health centers that are the tip of the spear. We need more of them. You, on your watch, have allowed them to become a tiny sliver of our healthcare delivery system. I know federally qualified health centers quite well. We need the most robust expansion of FQHCs in the history of this nation to deal with the mental health crisis that is crippling this nation, to deal with the scourge of drugs, many of which are coming across our border. These are actual solutions. You can talk about it as rhetoric, perhaps because your solutions never work.
Yeah, the bottom line is that the $14 billion that I talked about in the previous 5 will go to community health centers and federally qualified health centers. So I've already produced on that, and it's helping. And if you talk to the mental health experts, they are just so elated that we have finally done something. In the past, this kind of money was blocked by Republican senators, by President Trump, by others. Finally, when we were able to do something with a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic President, we got it done. Again, productivity, not longevity.
The results are always to your benefit. When things don't get done, somehow it's always somebody else's fault. It's almost like nothing's ever gone wrong on his watch. The people at home know the truth. 19 million and shrinking that call this state home. They haven't got the stewardship it deserves. So.
Okay, that is going to bring us to the end of our time, and that's going to do it for this debate. I'd like to thank both candidates for joining us tonight. And if you missed any part of the debate, it will be available in its entirety on the Spectrum News app. That's also where you can find our recent debates for state controller and for governor.
We are also hoping to bring you the debate in the race for state attorney general. Please remember to vote. Early voting is already underway, and Election Day is November 8th. On behalf of Spectrum News 1 and New York 1, thank you for watching and have a great night.